What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today I want to take a look at another one of the top 8 deck lists from the Energon Invitational. And by top 8, I actually mean top 4. You see, since the beginning of the Transformers trading card game, since way back in Wave 1, Insecticons have been one of the decks. It's been a feared deck, it's been a good deck, it has been a deck that some players have accused as lacking skill and being a bit of an autopilot deck. Now, I don't believe that's true, incidentally, but I do know that only one Insecticon list made it into the top 8. It was Jimmy Jan, apologies for the pronunciation, and it's a pretty gosh darn good deck list, so I thought we should have a little bit of a gander at it. Now, of course, being an Insecticon deck list, it is a 4-wide deck list. You got 4 characters, and it all starts with Insecticon Scrapnel. And as a side note, right, Scrapnel here, as far as I'm concerned, has one of the most broken abilities we've ever seen in the game. When you're in bot mode, you cannot take more than 3 damage from a single attack. It's ridiculous, it's ludicrous, it's amazing, it is a phenomenal skill. Now, in alt mode, when you flip to this mode, you may KO one of your Insecticons and then tap an enemy that has 13 stars or fewer, which is the vast majority of characters out there, though it would not have worked on the Optimus Prime that actually ended up winning the entire thing. It's not a skill you're going to use all of the times. You've got to KO one of your characters to pull it off, but there will be times during the game where this is absolutely worth doing and can swing the game in your favor. And look, we've got 0 defense in bot mode. We've got 7 health. We're not expecting these characters to last for ages. An Insecticon deck, most of the time, at least the ones we've seen that have been winning, including this one, fast, aggressive, orange. So Barrage comes in as a 7-star character, and when it's attacking a damaged enemy, it has Bold 2 in bot mode, along with a natural attack of 5. And this is big, ladies and gentlemen. This means that you've actually got a surprising amount of aggression from a 7-star character. 5 attack and Bold 2, that's pretty gosh darn good. When you flip into alt mode, you give one of your characters Pierce 2 until end of turn. It guarantees 2 damage. Hopefully you won't need it because you got so much orange going on here, but it's nice to have it if you do. Now, the last couple get a little bit more tricky. We've got Chop Shop here. Now, Chop Shop comes in as a 6-star character, but with an attack of 4, which we would expect on an 8 cost, so that's kind of nice. Again, the health and the defense are bad. In bot mode, when it attacks, you may move an upgrade from one of your other characters to this one. And in alt mode, when you flip to this mode, you may scrap all upgrades on this character. And for each one scrapped this way, you draw a card and repair 1 damage from one of your Insecticons. There's a bit of healing going on here, but again, you've got weak characters and you're not going particularly blue here, you're going aggression. There's not actually a single blue icon in the entire deck. We've got blank icon cards, but we don't have any blue icon cards. But being able to draw cards, being able to move upgrades over is very, very nice, especially as when you move them over, they do actually activate again. So one of the ones we see here is Bashing Shield. When you put it on a character, you scrap an enemy armor. If you move Bashing Shield over, that will activate again and let you scrap another armor. And then we've got Kickback. Now, Kickback is a 5-star character. When it was initially revealed, it was the character that made us go, ooh, now we can go 4-wide Insecticon. And the stats are terrible. But when you're attacking in bot mode, you flip 2 more battle cards for each other Insecticon with which you began the game. So you might have an attack of 0, but instead of flipping 2 battle cards, you're flipping 8 battle cards. And if you flip any white, that will then go up to 10, plus any bold that you might end up getting. And essentially here, this is ridiculous. No, you don't have any natural attack, but what you do have is a huge amount of cards being flipped. When you're flipping 10 cards, and bearing in mind, when you flip 8, there's a decent chance you'll flip a white icon. To put it simply, you've got 5 white icons in a 40-card deck. That gives you a 1 in 8 chance, so yeah, you should hit it here. It's going to add up quite quickly. And then in alt mode, when this damages an enemy, you repair 1 damage from one of your Insecticons. So you can get a bit of healing going on here, though a lot of the time Kickback is going to want to be in bot mode, going a little bit nuts. Some Insecticon decks have played Ransack. It's quite nice, especially in bot mode, where your attack is equal to the number of damage counters on him. And then in alt mode, when you flip to it, you may move 2 damage counters from another character to this one. Essentially, Ransack has been dropped for Chop Shop, which I don't think we have any huge complaints about. The deck has seen slightly different lineups of characters, but really this character lineup has been set since Wave 1. Like I say, you can flip a couple in or out here or there, but essentially you're flicking between the 5 characters. It's the way we play it. And then we're just going orange. In terms of the pit breakdown, and huge shout out to the lovely folks at fortressmaximus.io, who have provided some handy graphs here, we've got 71% orange icons here. Bit of white, bit of green, bit of blank, and a bit of black, but mostly orange. So starting off with the weapons here, this is the majority of our upgrades, and it is focused on aggression. So Enforcement Batons gives you +1 attack and an orange icon, but it's also a green icon, so at the end of the battle you get to swap a card in your hand for a card that you flipped while battling. So you can get it really easily is my point. And when you put it on a character, you scrap an enemy weapon. And I've already told you we got Bashing Shield to get rid of armor, and essentially what we've got here is orange icon cards that also have a green icon, making them easy to find, which let you really target down your opponent's upgrades. It allows you to really go after the specific upgrades you want to get rid of, just as long as they're not utilities. Erratic Lightning gives you +3 attack and -1 defense, while giving you an orange icon. And I know it lowers your defense, but remember, we're going hyper aggressive here. And +3 attack on a weapon is really good. Now, it's not as good as Grenade Launcher that gives you +4 attack on an orange icon card, but having said that, firstly, we're maxing out our Grenade Launchers here, and secondly, Grenade Launcher falls off when you attack, Erratic Lightning doesn't. There's a copy of Power Punch in here, gives you bold free on an orange icon, though again it falls off when you attack. And a couple copies of Sturdy Javelin. Now, this gives you a white icon, and you do need a few of those in your deck. First time you flip it while attacking or defending, you flip 2 more cards, although you're playing no blue icon, so it's kind of pointless when defending. Good when you're attacking. And if it's on a melee character, you get +2 attack. When it's on a range character, you may scrap it and do 2 damage to an enemy. And mostly here, we are rocking full melee, but it is worth noting that Barrage in bot mode, which is generally what you're going to be into attack, is a range character, so you do have the option of using Barrage to actually get a bit of cheeky damage going on here. Moving into armor, we've got the aforementioned Bashing Shield, and we've got Improvised Shield, but calling it an armor is a little bit of a misnomer. It's essentially a blank double orange icon card. We're going hyper aggressive, so we're playing 3 of each of the double orange icon cards. The other one's Peace Through Tyranny. The ones that don't have stars on anyway, you're at 25 stars, you can't afford to play any star cards, which is sad because there's some really good aggressive star cards with double orange icons, but it's a moot point. We haven't got space, we haven't got the stars to spare. And it gives you Tough 1, but again, Tough 1 is irrelevant when you're playing literally 0 blue icons. It's in there for the double orange icon. In terms of utilities, all we have here is 2 copies of Databank. Again, you've got the white icon, which can really help. And at the start of your turn, you draw a card. Simple as that. Lets you draw extra cards, gives you a little bit of draw power. It's important in every game. Now, moving into the actions, we've got a copy of Energy Transfer. This gives you an orange icon and lets you move any number of damage counters from one of your characters to another one, but not enough to KO. If you've got a particular character you want to keep alive, this will work very, very nicely indeed. And remember that Scrapnel can only take 3 damage from an attack, so your opponent is stuck 3 hit KOing it. If they hit it twice so it takes 6 damage, you can then move that damage off, and then your opponent is essentially 5 hit KOing. That's kind of fun. I Still Function doesn't have any battle icons, boo! But it does give you the option to return a character with 12 stars or fewer, all of your characters, to the battlefield, repair 1 damage from it, and then it gets KO'd at the end of your turn. But it gives you essentially another turn of a particular character. Like, for instance, Kickback, who is flipping minimum 8 battle cards when you're attacking. Or Barrage, who's got attack of 5 and bold 2. That's kind of cool, ladies and gentlemen. I'm all in favour. We got 2 copies of Incoming Transmission. Draw 2 cards, then put a card from your hand on top of your deck. This is really good if you end up with, say, an Improvised Shield in your hand, so you can put it on top of your deck and guarantee to flip the double orange icon. 3 copies of Peace Through Tyranny, largely in here for the double orange icons, I assume. But you do have the option to KO a character with 6 stars or more, not Kickback, but any of the others, and then take an extra turn. And this is exactly the kind of card that you won't use, will win you the game. Simple as that. There will be times where attacking twice in a row, having 2 turns in a row, is enough to literally win you the game. This will allow you to do it. Now, I said earlier we had no way to get rid of utilities. Well, that was in upgrades. We do play a couple copies of Ramming Speed here, which is an action, but it will get rid of any upgrade. And the orange icon. Now, Ready for Action is another blank card, as in no icons, but it lets you untap one of your characters with 10 stars or fewer. That is all of your characters. Lets you untap them. Now, you're already playing 4 wide, which is wider than the majority of the decks we saw doing well at the Energon Invitational. So essentially what happens is you just get an extra attack with this, because you end up with an untapped character. This is good. 2 copies of Reckless Charge. Orange icon plus 4 attack. You got to take 3 damage to play it, but again, we're going hyper aggressive. We're okay taking a bit of damage here or there for the aggression. 1 copy of Repair Bay. Orange icon, repair 1 damage from each of your characters. Sometimes this is going to be enough to stop you getting KO'd. Sometimes it won't. Your characters are fragile. They are small. But sometimes it will. 3 copies of Supercharge, orange icon, and gives the character bold 3. That's going to work. Bearing in mind, if you can get, say, a Power Punch and Supercharge, that's bold 6. Whack it onto a Kickback, for instance, and you're actually flipping 14 battle cards when you battle. 2 normally, plus 6 for the 3 other Insecticons, plus 6 for the bold. I mean, if you're flipping 14 battle cards, that's going to be a pretty big attack. We've got a couple copies of Swarm here, orange icon, and you flip a battle card for each Insecticon with which you began the game. For each orange icon you flip, your opponent chooses a character and takes 1 damage. You repair for every blue you flip, but again, you're playing no blue, so it's irrelevant. It's cheeky damage, and I love it. 1 copy of System Reboot, nice little white icon there. And both players scrap the hand to draw 4 cards. It's good draw, but if you know your opponent's got a good card in hand, maybe they've taken advantage of a green icon, for instance, this will give you a little bit of disruption. 2 copies of Zap, orange icon, and you get to do a damage to an enemy. And then a couple copies of Wedge Formation. Now, you'll notice that a lot of the cards we're playing here are from, like, Wave 1, with a couple from Wave 2. There aren't that many cards from later waves. We've got an Energy Transfer from Wave 4, but this is not a deck that's changed all that much as newer sets have come out. Well, Wedge Formation is one of the exceptions. It's got an orange icon and a green icon and a black icon. Black means you get an extra pierce until the end of turn. and you repair 1 damage from one of your melee characters. If you've got a ranged character on the battlefield, you draw a card. If you've got a specialist on the battlefield, you plan 1. Well, we don't have any specialists, but this lets you repair 1 damage, and it also lets you draw a card just so long as you've got Barrage in bot mode. Cool. Now, another thing that's really important to point out here, with the green icon, any of your characters can be melee. They're all melee except Barrage, but he's still melee in ult mode. But with the green icon, you can repair the damage at the perfect time. There's actually a little bit of healing in this deck. You can do a bunch of healing, but a lot of the time it's going to be irrelevant because your characters are just going to get smashed. But you're hoping to smash a little bit faster. What Wedge Formation does is go, hey, I've got a green icon. Feel free to use me whenever you like. Now, looking into the sideboard, the one card I really want to bring your attention to is Private Turbo Board. It stops your opponent playing more than 2 cards during their turn, and like I said with the winning deck, it is in here to stop Daring Escape. Daring Escape was much hyped up until the tournament, and we did ban multi-mission gear to slow down the best version of the deck, but it was still a bit of a beast. There was a player that went undefeated in the constructed portion of the event, there was also a sealed portion, using Daring Escape. So Private Turbo Board was in here to say no more than 2 cards. It was very, very much a silver bullet in the sideboard, just put in there to stop your opponent doing the Daring Escape deck. Not the only player we saw doing it. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Bugs is still awesome, and it's still there, ready to go on the big stage. But I'd like to know what you think about it. How do you feel about Bugs? Do you like the deck? Do you play the deck? Are you excited? Go nuts, ladies and gentlemen. But be nice, would you? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassy. That's where we talk Transformers and a whole bunch of other games. And do please consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, all that good stuff. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would you? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wassy Plays.